Lately, this process can feel lonely at first, because what leaves is visible, and what is coming is not yet formed. This gap can create fear, but this space is intentional. It allows your energy to settle. It allows new forms of connection to emerge, not from need, but from truth. Drifting away is not failure. It is life responding to your shift. It is the beginning of reorganization. Before new alignment can arrive, the old must loosen. This loosening feels uncomfortable, but it is part of the awakening process, and it is not asking you to chase what is leaving. It is asking you to stay present with yourself. Or when people drift away after awakening, it is rarely because love disappeared. More often, it is because the structure of the relationship changed. Many relationships are built on unconscious agreements. Agreements about roles, about emotional exchange, about who gives and who receives. Before awakening, you may have played a specific role: the listener, the supporter, the one who adjusted. These roles kept relationships stable, but they also required energy. When awakening happens, these roles begin to dissolve, not intentionally, but naturally. You stop over-explaining. You stop fixing emotions that are not yours. You stop chasing connection out of fear. This shift is subtle, but it changes the entire dynamic. Some people were connected to you through dependence. They relied on your attention, your reassurance, your emotional availability. When that supply changes, they feel unsettled, not because you are cold, but because the familiar pattern no longer exists. Awakening does not remove your care. It removes unconscious obligation. Without obligation, relationships must stand on mutual presence. Some cannot. This is why distance forms, not through conflict, but through silence. Silence reveals what was never rooted in alignment. People may not understand why they feel disconnected. They may interpret your calm as distance, your neutrality as withdrawal. Instead of adjusting, they drift. Drifting is easier than confronting change. Another reason people drift away is because awakening alters your emotional availability. You are no longer constantly responsive. You take time before reacting. This pause can feel uncomfortable to others. Some relationships rely on immediate emotional feedback. When feedback slows, the connection weakens. This does not mean the relationship was false. It means it was time-bound. Time-bound relationships exist for a phase. They support growth at one level, but they cannot always move forward with you. Awakening shifts you into a different phase, and not everyone can follow. This is not about worth. It is about readiness. People drift away when resonance fades. Resonance cannot be forced. Trying to pull someone back often recreates old patterns. Patterns of effort, patterns of imbalance. Awakening invites balance. Balance requires allowing distance. When you allow distance, truth becomes visible. Who stays without being chased? Who reaches out without being prompted? This clarity can be painful, but it is also liberating. You no longer carry relationships alone. You no longer prove your value through effort. Drifting reveals where effort replaced alignment. This revelation is part of reorganization. Life begins sorting connections naturally, not through judgment, but through energetic honesty. This sorting may reduce your circle, but what remains becomes lighter, more reciprocal, more grounded. You may miss people who drift away, Missing does not mean you should chase. It simply means the bond mattered, and bonds can matter even when they end. Awakening allows endings without blame. It allows gratitude without attachment. As you stay present with yourself, the urge to chase softens. You begin trusting the process. Trust allows relationships to realign naturally. Those meant to stay will adjust. Those meant to leave will continue drifting. Neither is a failure. Both are movement toward alignment. When people drift away after awakening, the instinct to chase can be strong. Chasing feels like control, like restoring balance. But chasing often pulls you away from your center. It returns you to old roles, old patterns of effort. Awakening asks for something different. It asks you to stay grounded when things shift. Staying grounded does not mean indifference. It means stability. When you remain stable, you allow truth to surface. Truth about who can meet you where you are. Some people reconnect when space is allowed. Others continue drifting. Both outcomes are information. Chasing interrupts this clarity. It replaces observation with urgency. Urgency belongs to fear. Fear says you will lose something essential. Awakening teaches that nothing essential is lost. What leaves was no longer aligned. Alignment cannot be maintained through effort alone. It requires mutual presence. When you stop chasing, relationships reorganize naturally. Those that depend on pursuit dissolve. Those rooted in resonance remain. This reorganization can feel unsettling because space opens where connection once was. This space can feel empty, but emptiness is not absence. It is potential. Space allows your energy to settle. When energy settles, your nervous system relaxes. Relaxation creates coherence. Coherence attracts aligned connection, not immediately, but inevitably. Awakening works through timing. If new connections arrived instantly, old patterns might repeat. The pause is intentional. It gives you time to integrate. Integration ensures you do not recreate relationships from need. Need-driven connection pulls energy outward. Aligned connection meets you where you are. During this phase, your task is not to replace what left. It is to remain present with yourself. Presence stabilizes identity. Stable identity attracts resonance. This is why patience matters. When you rush connection, you compromise alignment. When you allow space, alignment deepens. People who drift away often return in a different form, not always as close companions, but sometimes with clarity. Others do not return. Their absence creates room for new energy. This is not loss. It is recalibration. Recalibration adjusts your relational field. It removes imbalance. You no longer carry relationships alone. You no longer prove worth through effort. Worth becomes inherent. From this place, connection feels lighter, less demanding, more mutual. You begin noticing how ease replaces strain. Strain was a sign you were holding too much. Ease is a sign of alignment. Awakening does not promise constant togetherness. It promises honesty. Honest connection requires space. Space reveals who chooses you freely, not because you chased, not because you explained, but because resonance existed. When you trust this process, fear softens. You stop monitoring who leaves. You start noticing who stays. This shift restores balance. Balance creates peace. Peace allows relationships to unfold naturally, not from force, but from truth. Drifting away is not an ending. It is a clearing that prepares you for connections that do not require pursuit, connections that meet you without effort. And those connections always arrive when you stop chasing what was never meant to stay. Oh.